Hi, travelers. This has been a long span of time that you have not heard from me, but I was doing a Nostradamus reading. And first, I like to lay the cards out and mull over them for a while. I hope you can understand what I'm saying. So, back on February 5th, I pulled a series of cards. I think I posted the cards up on my Substack and chat. And what I have, I will show you the cards again. First, I want to preface this reading with the views that I am interpreting are my own. They don't come from anywhere else. Also, I have a feeling that Rome has a lot to do with what's going on. And the question was, I write down all my questions. The question was, what is to come next? Because I think people are very frightened. They're confused about what's happening. And there are a lot of undercurrents. Remember, this is all designed to distract you from what's really happening. So I think that Nostradamus is sharing some information about the undercurrent of what's going on. I hope that makes sense. And first I pick out the cards. I'll show them to you in a minute. Then I look up what they mean, or the quatrain that came with the book, that came with the deck. And then I go to, let me give it a small one, this book, to figure out exactly what's being said. So that book was a gift from Jessica Adams. It's written by Dr. Theophilus de Grenancier, published in 1685. I think it's the definitive book on Nostradamus ever written. And I will try to explain how I think Rome is going to be involved, or historical patterns about what's happening right now. So let me turn the camera around and show you the cards. I will read the interpretation. This may be a long video because I can't speak fast anymore. So just kind of bear with me. The cards I pulled were the Magician, whom I have identified as Curtis Yarvin. I'll explain that later. Let me, wait a minute now, let me get it straight. Okay, the Magician, whom I've identified as Curtis Yarvin. I said that again. The Five of Moons, the Three of Moons, the Strength card, and the overall energy is the Neophyte of Moons. Okay? So, the quatrain for the Magician card is Century 3, Quatrain 26, which says, some kings and princes shall hold up idols, divinations, and hollow-raised divinators, victim with gilded horns and set with azure and mother of pearl, The looking into entrails shall be interpreted. I'll break it down. Some kings and princes shall set up idols. You know, the idols can be cryptocurrency. It can be people like Elon Musk. So it's like they're setting up things to praise or make worship to. Divinations and hollow divinators. I think what he's trying to tell us is that during this time, a lot of people who do the work like I do, Jessica Adams, Katie Ellen Hazelton, they are trying to see what's going on because everything is discombobulated. The whole world order is messed up, especially since 47 came into power the second time. I don't think anybody should be surprised by what's happening. It was chaotic the first time. He tried to tear down the first time. And now he's back to do exactly that. So I think a lot of us are going to be trying to see what is happening. Victim with gilded horns and set with azure and mother of pearl. I think this phrase kind of refers to my impression, psychic impression, is that they are trying, think about the bull statue on Wall Street. Okay? And that is a symbol for wealth, for economic growth, money. And so in a sense, I kind of feel like he's saying that that symbol of the bull is the symbol that we are all, they have made an idol of it. The looking into entrails, to me, represents the fact that I think 47 and Musk are trying to break the economy. So think about busting it wide open and seeing what's inside. He's already taken possession of the treasury. And what he's doing is, in effect, breaking open the bank, the bull, and he's looking inside for what he can find. The annotation is, I can find nothing in this but the description of the heathens' sacrifices in ancient times, where they brought the victim, that is, the beast that was to be sacrificed, trimmed in a gallant manner, having the horns gilded and set with azure and mother of pearl. That was precious stones back in the day. And after the entrails were taken out, by the inspection of them, they practiced their soothsaying. So this is speculation. They're speculating. Wildly so. They have broken open all systems, financial systems. They are trying to manipulate the system, and they are speculating what's going to happen. This card, I said, is a magician. I identify him as Curtis Yarvin. So who is Curtis Yarvin? He first came around to somebody's notice in 2007, right before Obama was going to run for president the first time. Was it the first time? Or the second time? He wrote under a pen name called Medicus Moldbug. Mold, M-O-L-D-B-U-G. He and a guy named Nick Land have a philosophy of anti-egalitarian and anti-democratic policies, and they named it Dark Enlightenment, Neo-Reactionary, or NXR. The premise of this philosophy is that American democracy is a failure and should be replaced by an accountable monarchy, similar to the governance structure of corporations. It's like you got a CEO, and then you have a CFO, and you have a CO, and then everybody else manages underneath that. So it's going to fan out until you make the workers do what you want. The reason I think Rome and Sparta, Rome, because it went through two incarnations. One was the Roman Empire, and then later it was a Roman Republic. I might have it backwards. Let me see. And the Sparta part, because Sparta took its weakest people in their society and got rid of them. They killed babies. They put people who were mentally and physically disabled. They shipped them off to farms or whatever that may have killed them, because they could not contribute to the society and raise a defense for them. Have them raise a defense. They needed strong people who can produce strong children and strong fighters. That's what I'm trying to say. So this is Curtis Yarvin, and he is the architect, the original architect of Project 2025. The Five of Moons. I want you to listen to this because I think the Sparta reference will be more clear. He shall come into the corner of Luna, where he shall be taken and put in a strange land. The green fruits shall be in great disorder. A great shame to one shall be great praise. The annotation is, this stanza has a relation and connection to the precedent, and it ought to be understood. That said, a Mathian or Spaniard shall come as far as the corner of Luna, wherein he shall be taken into a strange country, at which time the green fruits and grass shall be much damaged. For one of the parties shall receive great shame, and the other great praise. What Nostradamus means by this, by the corner of Luna, he says, I will leave it to you, because I don't know of a country by that name or a city. So we can look at Luna in two ways. It can be talking about a moon phase, astrology, or it can be talking about a city that holds itself out as a shining light. This stanza relates, I think, to the immigrant purge and Guantanamo Bay, because there is a plan to put people in Guantanamo Bay, and maybe it would even extend to Americans who don't toe the line, the party line. As far as I can tell, that the green fruits and grasses shall be much damaged. Nobody is picking the fruit. Nobody is farming the land. He has hold on all the money, so farmers can't even get the equipment that they need to farm the land. They don't get any subsidies right now because everything is on hold. So I think I said, for one of the parties shall receive great shame. I don't know if it's talking about the Republican Party, the Democratic Party, for refusing to mount a strong defense for what's happening. And so this is the result. And the other party, Republican Party, gets great praise. You got to remember, people still think he's going to save the country. The first appearance of the this card, the Five of Moons, appeared in a reading that I posted on 31 August 2020. So I'm going to post the link to my playlist with all the videos underneath this video, so you can go back and see one by one what happens. The Three of Moons. This is a quite an astounding card because it's made several appearances from 2017 to now. Under the territory of the round lunar globe, when Mercury shall be the lord of the ascendant, and that's like September, late October, September, because and it's Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Let me say that. So it says, under the territory of the round lunar globe, when Mercury shall be the lord of the ascendant, the island of Scotland shall make a luminary that shall put the English to an overthrow. Now, let's break the first two lines down as quatrain 593. So they're saying, I'm taking it, that sometime when the moon is full, and where Mercury shall be the lord of the ascendant. We just had a Leo full moon, and we have a eclipse coming up in March, the first one, March 13th, I think. The second part of this quatrain is strange because it says the island of Scotland shall make a luminary. Well, you can kind of look at 47 because he has Scottish roots. You know? But the part about that shall put the English to an overthrow, I don't understand. If you look at the card, it's like the angel is blowing a horn, making an announcement, and he has a quill in his hand. So I take it that the story is, I said this before in one of my older readings, the story is not yet told fully. It's being written as we speak. But we don't know what's going to happen. People in Canada are frightened that the United States is going to invade. And if you think about, Canada is still a commonwealth of the British Empire. So I think if something does pop off, Britain will send troops. It may take them a while to get there. They did it once before in the 80s for the Falkland Islands. So I think if there is an invasion, like people, I don't think that's going to happen. I think what's going to happen, they're going to close a border. And I'll have to come back to that in a minute, but the annotation of this card says, this prophecy must of necessity be passed for the union of both kingdoms under one king. Such a thing has not happened, nor is it likely to occur thereafter. It refers to the accession of King James I on 24 March 1603, where it's called the Union of the Crowns, where James tried, and he tried to unite the kingdoms of Scotland and England into one, but was not successful. The first appearance of this card was again 31 August 2020. The second appearance was on January 6th, 2021. We all remember that date. And the third appearance, the card was the overall energy on 8 November 2022, which were the midterms. Now, I have noticed that 47 is a Sun Gemini. And whenever Mercury goes retrograde, which is about to go retrograde in March, he always says some strange things and reverses his policy on a lot of things. So that's why I feel that listen, I've been having dreams that there is a dome placed over America. Nobody comes in, nobody goes out. Communications don't come in, communications don't go out. I don't know what that means, but I kind of feel like right at this point, there's a blanket being thrown over us. I said it before. There's a blanket being thrown over us, and we're not necessarily aware of it. I think everybody kind of picks up on it, but they can't pinpoint exactly what the feeling is. So I keep saying that they're throwing a net over America where nobody can leave, nobody comes in, and we can't let anybody know what's happening to us on the outside. I've had that dream like 3 times. It could mean something totally different, but that's a feeling that I get. Just a second. My daughter, gotta let her in. Okay. I forgot where I was. Oh, yeah. Remember when he came into office the first time? Mercury went retrograde. Right after that, he instituted the Muslim ban in December, and people were separated, and nobody knew what was going on. So I think something like that is going to happen. I'll tell you about that in a minute. The final card in the series is a strength card. I think this is really interesting that the symbol of the bull has come out, because I was talking about Wall Street and the stock market, the economy. So this kind of lets me know that maybe I might be on the right track. The connotation is quatrain 1084. It's really strange. So now I'm coming back to the Rome thing again. Listen. The annotation is that prophecy is divided into 2 parts. The first 2 verses are concerning a king who shall perform the funeral rites and ceremonies to his parents when he has come to the knowledge of them, having been exposed for loss before. So in other words, he's talking about some important person like a king who gives funeral rites to his family, but he thought they were lost before. They were unknown to him. The second part concerns an ancient sepulcher. A sepulcher is a tomb of a Roman that shall be dug up and found out by a torrent. The first appearance of this card was 31 August 2020. So obviously that date, there's something there in the date of my reading. Maybe you can glean more information, because that was a connection to the Russian connection to Trump. So where's mine? The part about the sepulcher and the Roman being dug up. I don't know if any of you guys know the history of when Adolf Hitler went and captured Austria, Vienna, and between March 11th, March is going to be a pivotal one. I think lots of things are going to be happening. March 11th and March 13th of 1938, Hitler invaded Austria and looted the Vienna Museum of History, capturing all the treasure inside, but particularly one thing was the Spear of Destiny. Now, there have been many Hollywood movies made about the Spear of Destiny. You can kind of look at the one from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You could even look at the 2025 version from the movie Constantine. The All Bearers Saint. I will link to it underneath this post. 2023, Alan Quartermain and the Spear of Destiny. There have been lots of movies made on it. And what the Spear of Destiny is supposed to be, it's the lance that pierced the side of Jesus when he was on a cross. The name of the Roman soldier is Longinus. And when he was standing underneath Jesus, he pierced his side. The blood flowed down into his eyes, and he was converted. So he's now a saint. This may sound crazy, but Hitler was supposed to have an occult obsession with the spear. Because rumor had it that if you control the Spear of Destiny, you control the destiny of the world. I think that's kind of been debunked, but it's kind of iffy. Coming back to this thing about this poker found, I can't believe I didn't write it down, but I have it written down somewhere. Let me find it. I'll have to be faster, do it on my phone. Where is it? Here we go. Nostradamus, I put it through DeepSeek, and DeepSeek gave me the interpretation of the last two lines. A torrent shall open the sepulchre made of marble and lead of a great woman with a Medusan ensign. That's a flag. And I identified that flag in another video. I think it's under the election readings category. Sicily has a Medusa flag. So again, there is some kind of connotation back to Rome. The last two verses you're referring to seem to be part of a poetic or prophetic text that mentions an ancient sepulchre or tomb that shall be uncovered or discovered by a torrent. Here is the interpretation. Ancient sepulchre of Rome, of a Roman. This likely refers to a burial site from the Roman era, possibly containing archaeological, historical, and cultural significance. Such tombs hold artifacts, inscriptions, or remains that provide insight into Roman history and culture. Shall be dug up and found out by a torrent. The word torrent can have a double meaning here. The literal interpretation of it may refer to a natural force, such as a powerful stream or flood, that erodes the ground and uncovers the tomb. This could symbolize nature revealing secrets from the past, but a metaphorical interpretation says a torrent can also symbolize a surge of activity, such as an intense archaeological effort or a sudden influx of interest in uncovering the past. Such torrent can also symbolize a surge of activity, yes, such as an intense archaeological effort or a sudden influx of interest in uncovering the past. Alternatively, it might hint at the use of modern technology, like torrent networks, to share or discover information about the tomb. The verse seems to suggest that something long ago hidden or forgotten, the Roman sepulchre, will be revealed either through natural forces or human endeavor. This could symbolize the idea that no matter how buried, the idea that history, no matter how buried, has a way of resurfacing over time. So that's why I'm saying I think the idea of Rome, Italy, is being mentioned in this. There's something about what happened around March in Roman history that is particularly being pointed out. I don't know what it means. I can't tell you exactly what's going on. I just have a feeling that Roman history is going to play a big part in what's to come. Now, the last card, the Neophyte of Moons, or the Page of Cups, is Quatrain Century 2, Quatrain 21. The ambassador that was sent in brims in the middle way shall be repulsed by unknown men. From the salt to his succors shall come 4 rims. Ropes and chains shall be carried to Negropont. Now, what it says is a brim is a ship that has 2 range of oars. A trieme is a boat or ship that has 3 ranges of oars. That the ambassador shall be sent in some type of ship, and that he shall be met on his way by unknown men. That is to say, pirates. There shall come to his succors from the salt. I don't know if that means he's thrown overboard or what. That is from 4 triremes, which are 4 ships having a range of 3 oars altogether. So if it's 4 ships and they have 3, that's 12 ranges of oars. He will be carried to Negropont, an island belonging to the Turks. A brim is an ancient type of ship that has 2 rows of oars on each side. Brims were commonly used in naval warfare and trade during antiquity, particularly by the Mediterranean civilization. The French word trime, Trime, refers to a type of ancient ship that is characterized by having 3 rows of oars on each side, allowing for greater speed and maneuverability compared to other ships. Again, triremes were widely used in naval warfare during the classical period, particularly by the Greeks and Romans. He's carried to Negropont, which is an island owned by the Turks. The Triarchy of Negropont was a crusader state established on the island of Euboea. I think that's right. Venetian Negropont. After the partition of the Byzantine Empire following the Fourth Crusade, partitioned into 3 baronies, or thirds, Chalkis, Caressos, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and Orios, won by a few interrelated Lombardy families. So they're all running this, there are 3 separate places that are all run by this family. The island soon fell under the influence of the Republic of Venice. From circa 1390, the island became a regular Venetian colony at the realm of Negropont. Now, I said all that to say that what I think is going on is a mirroring of what happened to the Roman Republic. And March is going to be a pivotal month because let me see. I have it written down. I thought I did. March 13th is a date 44 BCE, is a date that Julius Caesar was assassinated. And after his assassination, it ended the Roman Empire, a Roman Republic. So a republic, you remember, they had senators and the will of the people. But then his assassination created conditions for the rise of the Roman Empire. If you go back in history and you look at a lot of the symbolisms of Nazism, they are very Romanesque. What he was trying to do was build the Third Reich, which was like the Roman Empire. One person to rule over all. So I think that March is going to be a very pivotal month for America here. The Ides of March are coming. The Ides of March. And the fears that the people had were driven by for the assassination were fears of a combination of political, personal, and ideological among the Roman senators. So the specific fears that motivated his assassins, led by Brutus and Cassius, included fear of tyranny and absolute power. Caesar's accumulation of power threatened the Roman Republic's tradition of shared governance. He had been declared dictator perpetual dictator for life, which many senators saw as a move towards kingship. Now remember, I said that Curtis Yarvin talks about a monarchy, a concept deeply opposed in Roman culture due to the historical overthrow of the Roman monarchy, erosion of the Senate's authority, Caesar's actions as appointing senators loyal to him and bypassing traditional political processes diminished the Senate's role. Senators feared that their institution would become irrelevant under his rule. So he's saying that they thought they were going to lose their jobs. Personal ambitions and rivalries. Many senators, including Brutus and Cassius, had personal grievances or felt their status and influence were threatened by Caesar's rise. They feared losing their political power and prestige. The fear of Caesar's popularity with the people and the military. Caesar's immense popularity with the Roman populace and his loyal army made him seemingly untouchable. Senators worried that this support will allow him to further consolidate power without opposition. Ideological commitment to the Republic. Some assassins, particularly Brutus, were motivated by a genuine belief in the ideals of the Roman Republic and saw Caesar as a threat to its survival. They believed his death would restore the Republic's balance of power. Fear of reforms. Caesar's reforms. Caesar's reform, such as land redistribution to veterans and the poor, threatened the interests of the aristocratic elite. Senators feared these changes would undermine their wealth and social standing. Ultimately, these fears culminated in the conspiracy to assassinate Caesar, but the act did not achieve its intended goal of restoring the Republic. Instead, it led to further civil wars and the eventual rise of the Roman Empire under Augustus. So, this is what I think is the whole thing is based about. It's not just it's a class issue. It's a reshaping of America as we know it. I don't know how it's going to turn out. And looking at the lunar total eclipse on March 13 to 14. I just have a feeling we're going to get some kind of news. We're going to get some kind of information. It could be related to TikTok. I think TikTok is history, particularly now that Venus has gone retrograde. I think when the 75 days is up, it's going to be no more. Particularly since they're trying to evict the Palestinians. They don't want anybody to know what's happening or what's going on. I just think something so big may leak out because Mercury is in retrograde. We may not find out until it goes back, it turns back direct, or it could be that when it turns retrograde, that we find something out. And what's the date? So I'm asking you, the first, TikTok is a Virgo. Okay? It was formed on September 20th, 2017. That was the initial offering, I think. 2016, 2017. Let me look. In Beijing, China, 2016. We had the SCOTUS ruling to ban it. You got to remember, Donald Trump was the one who first started this back in the first administration. But nobody really paid any attention to it until the Israelis, AIPAC, started saying too many people are seeing what's happening in Gaza right now. With the young people don't have a favorable view of Israel. So, January 17th of this year, the SCOTUS ruled that the ban could go through. But on January 20th, 3 days later, 47 gave it a reprieve. Remember, it went offline. It came back. There was a message. I'm sorry that it's not available right now. And when it came back, it said, we want to thank President Trump for giving us a reprieve, paraphrasing. But when it went offline, it was 24 hours. There was a server change. So the servers are now, I think, being run by Meta. There's a few other companies out there. So the SCOTUS ruling was January 17th. January 19th, it went offline. The servers were changed. January 20th, it came back up. It was offline briefly for like 24 hours. And on January 20th, it came back. But it's supposed to be sold by April 5th of 2025. And I don't see it surviving this. I really don't. And I think it's gonna go bye-bye. So I know that's kind of a lot. I know it was kind of choppy. But remember, the main things are the person who started Project 2025 just as a written paper. He is a magician. And you have to remember what they're trying to do. So he believes in techno-feudalism. If you don't know what that means, look it up. I think the history of Rome and of Sparta are playing heavily into, it's like history repeating itself. It may be a different type of empire or republic, but the same thing is occurring. The month of March is going to be very pivotal. About the dead Roman soldier and the spear of destiny, I have a feeling that one of the Peter Thiel or Elon Musk or some people working for him are trying to discover something to do with the spear of destiny. And I think they believe, like Hitler believed, it can give you the power to rule the world. The spear of destiny was returned back to the Vienna Museum of History. But you know, right-wing people are making a rise all over the world. Richard Tarnas called Pluto and Capricorn the rise of the dictators. So they are still trying to assert their power, even though Pluto has moved into Aquarius. It's going to take some time. We're not just going to throw off the shackles of oppression overnight. It's going to get worse as time goes on. I went to the grocery store yesterday. Eggs are $8, $12, and $23 down here in South Texas. So that means they're expensive everywhere. I don't know what he's doing by trying to negotiate a peace deal, first of all, for Ukraine without Ukraine being there. So this it brings back a second connection to Putin and Trump. Remember this card? He's also talking about taking over Gaza. So he has a connection with Netanyahu. He's gonna negotiate a peace deal without them being at the table. And he is making plans, I think, to further suppress the communication that we receive. It's just like I read to you, those three things, what led to the assassination. So I think with all this going on, a lot of people are gunning for him. A lot of people want to and so I think March is going to be pivotal, and we will have to wait and see. But remember, like Caesar, even though he was assassinated, it did not change the plan. And I still think, I always believe that Elon Musk is set to take over. He's already performing now as if he's president, but I think he has designs on taking over, and installing himself dictator for life. He's the world's richest man. I have an article that I'm going to do on why I think he's taken over the Treasury Department. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope you found it interesting. Something is coming in March. It's going to be, I think, going to be a very pivotal month here in America. So I got to go. I'm headed off to physical therapy. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.